Right, so welcome, number 3 of the town hall meetings of the ambassador program. On screen you can see a little agenda I made for today. I want to have a short recap on the last meeting and some feedback that was given, just to, for completeness sake, walk over that. And then I want to provide a couple of updates on the work groups. And after that, I want to move on to a small update on the tasks and rewards and how that is progressing. Does anybody have any additional agenda items or things they really want to talk about right now? Because you can. And if not, I'll hop to the first one. Since the previous meeting, we had 2 work group meetings. One for the incubation/structure group, however you want to call it. Basically the work group on the internal design of the ambassador program. And we had one on the community podcast last Friday. And I do want to provide a little update on both. For the work group on the incubation of the program, I made some updates to the Notion page. I quickly want to share. Won't make it too long. Unless the Notion page is not cooperating. Basically, out of the, it's actually moving to tasks instead of the structure. Let's hold on to that for a little. Basically made a little overview of what kind of stuff is currently needed and what can be considered as an open call out for anybody willing to join in on building out the program itself. Yeah, assuming everybody can read, I'll quickly touch on it. It's basically building out the Notion pages, which you're looking at right now. I want to get started on preparing a package for ambassadors who are looking to host a local event, like a meetup that needs some promo pack, let's say. I want to get started on assembling that. There's help welcome on running the workgroup meetings, stuff like preparing the agendas, creating the slides, taking notes, and providing feedback. And something which also needs help is if people are interested in working on gathering tasks and assigning rewards to those. That's something, in a way, I want to do that publicly in meetings like this, but at the same time that will take up just a lot of the meeting time. So I'm thinking to do that outside of these meetings. And a general call out, if anybody has ideas for work groups and activities, that's always very welcome. Let's see. I made a little section on the rewards, just some basic info. Mentioning the budget and the fact that if unspent budget, if that's a thing, it simply carries over to the next month or the next. It doesn't disappear, so we don't need to spend a specific amount or anything. Then at the last day of the month, we'll do the disbursement. This will be, there should be a proper double check to see if the quality is there. That's something which right now is not properly built into the system yet. And I think at the beginning we can be a little lenient, but I do think it's a good idea to be just strict and straightforward and have clarity surrounding the disbursements. The tokens will be sent on Cardano, so people do need to provide their address. Well, that makes sense. The fees for those disbursements will be taken on by SingularityNET, so it's not like you will receive 99% of the reward to account for fees, anything like that. And all the transactions will be publicly shared, linking to the Cardano scan page, so it's all out there in the open. Let's see. I guess we could hop back a little to the work groups. I want to get some workshop times going during the week to actively build instead of just having meetings. And that's something I think is best done through, well, this needs a time slot, basically. That's something I'm not too sure about how to shape that, and I think a simple vote on the Discord chat will work for that. Can best do that a bit later on in the meeting, and then have it open for, let's say, 2 days for people who did not manage to join live, but are viewing this later. Yeah, to also be able to join in on that vote. Then the community podcast. I was secretly hoping for Architect to be around. Seems he did not make this meeting, which is fine, of course. Basically, it was a pretty explorative meeting we had last Friday. The next one will be coming Friday at 16 UTC. There was a group of about 6 people who stood up and felt like, yeah, I want to be part of this work group and actively. Well, it's a bit of a process. You don't just start recording a podcast. So yeah, there was a small group of interested people, and that looks to be moving forward. Again, open call. People want to join that. Friday 16 UTC.
Are there any specific plans for kind of initial guests or platforms?
Well, platform-wise, was a bit of discussion going. I'm not sure if it was fully settled. No, there's a bunch of options, and for now I would say that's undetermined yet. And on guests, well, there were some suggestions. Ben got suggested as a good fitting guest. Somebody suggested I should be a guest, which I feel about. But yeah, we'll see. Those were initial suggestions, but that's still very open for input, of course. Then onto the tasks we discussed last week, and some got submitted, which is nice to see. I'm not super convinced about the selection of languages yet, because I think Spanish got claimed, French and Portuguese, one got claimed, Chinese and Russian did not get claimed. So I still think, based on website visitors and just the stats we have, these languages are important enough to cover, since there's a big audience out there. So we'll have to rethink a little how to approach this. And on the verification side of things, there's currently one being verified, and that's something which needs to be in place. Like so far, the people who are interested, I tell them to simply pick one of the available blog posts and then go ahead and translate. And then for Spanish, for example, they ran out. So then the next person who told me like, hey, I want to help out. It's like, well, we've got verification available. But yeah, for the other ones, the verification is simply not claimed yet. I did include it in the Notion overview. Oh, I see I did not fill this in. I'll do that right after. And something to consider is actually putting a deadline, because in a way these blog posts are pretty timeless in a way. Like I think 3 weeks from now we would still very much welcome having a translation, but a bit of sense of urgency, yeah, wouldn't hurt, I think. And some got links to the deliverables, then still needing, well, the verification.
So it's not just the way it was suggested at the start that we do the translation and then the person who knows the language checks it, but it's like a clear copy of like
I did not get the last word, sorry.
So basically the first session it was suggested to do a Google Translate and then verify the translation. So in current situation I see that there is no Google Translate used, just pure translation.
Oh, correct. There was a suggestion by Crypto AI News, and I do think that still makes a lot of sense, but I wanted to compare the two. So for these two, it can actually be compared, like the Spanish operations block and the French operations update. For those, this comparison between Google Translate and the human translation can be done. I think for proper comparison, it makes sense to have it verified.
Okay, so in this first batch, we do all the manual translations and later analyze the difference between. So we have like a more how to say data to confirm that yes, the Google Translate somewhat works.
Yeah, that's my current idea at least.
Okay.
If anybody has feedback on that, by all means, share.
And this language stuff I can just pick up and play, because I suggested that there is in Cardano we have several groups who actually translate, but it didn't like kind of understood if it's okay to just shoot it out to who are not directly related. But I guess it doesn't matter with as long as it's completed, or it matters who completes it. Should it come from the ambassador, or it's fine if it's outsourced?
I would say it's the result that matters in a way, but this also reminds me about a question I got. Somebody was reaching out to me saying, is it okay if I use Fiverr for this? And yeah, that level of outsourcing is a bit too much, I would say. But that's just my personal opinion. Perhaps if everybody feels like whatever, just get the result done and that's it. That's all that matters. Then yeah, we can allow everything. But I personally had the feeling like, yeah, if you claim this 750 AJAX for a task, it's a bit weird if you outsource it then to somebody else for a different amount, a lower amount.
The goal wasn't really the lower amount, just to kind of coordinate the translation, because I'm not gonna do it.
No, understood. In your case, I know what you mean. I'm just made me think of this question I got, and where I basically felt like no, it's not the proper way to go around it to outsource it to Fiverr. Yeah, in a way, what's the difference with a specialized group? Any thoughts from somebody else? Like, do you guys care who translates it, or is it just purely the end result which matters? Should it be, can it be Fiverr, for example?
will be a matter of actually going outside of the group and paying someone else to translate for us, correct?
Well, that's the question. Like, do we care? Is it important?
I mean, from an operational standpoint, probably it would be the greatest efficiency with the quickest turnover at the highest quality with the lowest cost, right? So if that were able to be done via something like Fiverr or some other third-party outsourcing service, I wouldn't see any problem with that.
Seems like I agree. If it's important that these results, these translations, we feel it's important they get done so that we can, spread this message to the widest group possible, the widest audience possible, then going for third party seems like it would be okay. It would be nice if there was, preference if somebody wanted to do somebody within the community wanted to do the translation themselves, that would be preferred. And if nobody's claiming, it's feel free to take it wherever to get it done, as long as it's done well. Seems reasonable. Honor system, I don't know that there would be any way to track that necessarily, but give folks an opportunity who have that passion to really do an amazing job translating not just the words but the feel and the vision that these articles are trying to promote. And if that's not available, then opening it out to just getting a good translation would be good, better than not.
So maybe there could be like an expiry, like a date. Okay, we have 2 weeks to reach out to the community, and if nobody claims within 2 weeks, we get a professional outside. Is that something we could do?
Sounds like a strategy. I noted it down. I used the same Miro board again.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I guess translation is a bit of a. We'll have to see how the same argument goes for different tasks. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would say translation is a pretty serious task in comparison to maybe some others. That's why it's it's a little difficult to get somebody to jump on it, because you kind of have to be a semi-professional at least, I guess, to be able to translate really well. But I don't think it's a difficult task, I would say.
From own experience, for example, in the Cardano and the Ambassador program, we saw over a long time the translations are the easiest part of all. Meetup organizer, for example, or content creator is it's a task much more difficult to define. What we see over a long time mostly is that the translators have the most influence in the Ambassador program because it's an easy task and it's easy to define. So you mostly have a lot of people taking the task.
So maybe we just don't have as big of a group to have people jump on it, but maybe in time it will grow so that we have people that are great at these languages. It could be that it's just the group is so small and that we just don't have that many Russian or Chinese speakers at the moment, at least.
Yeah, fair. In that way, yeah, you only need one motivated person to go for it, and it's fixed. And for now, I also did hold back a little. For example, if somebody was reaching out to do all 3 articles for language X, I felt it was a good idea to first get one going and then leave some space for other people who also might want to join in on the same language. So I do think people can still work on the remaining article for the language.
I think that's fair. Yeah, it's like if you want to claim all 3, well, start with one, and if you're finished and nobody else claimed the other 2, you can move on to the second one. I think that's fair.
Oh, speaking of which, actually, based on time, I found myself having to shift over the deep funding voting open blog post translations to the won't do category because, well, voting is not open anymore. So these 5 tasks, I figured, yeah, that's not the most useful content to now get translated.
Kind of expired.
Yeah.
Will they come around in next funding, or we could already delete them?
Well, I didn't straight up delete them because I figured let's first mention this at all.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
Yeah, well,
Delete now.
well, the tasks are very empty, so there's no loss in removing them.
Okay. I thought it had like links to sources and stuff.
Nope.
We'll probably need translation on the winner's announcement though, so we'll certainly put, there'll be replacement tasks in there shortly.
Very true. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that will be next week's meeting. We can. Yeah, that task will appear. Absolutely. Yeah, I still have this task pending on posting the recording of yesterday's meeting, and the one of Friday on the community podcast is also still. It's in progress. YouTube is still. What's it called? Processing the HD variety, and yeah, based on audio quality, I felt. Let's wait for that. Anything that can help it a little bit is very welcome, because it's just simply terrible. So that's still in progress. Let's see. The sign up form. Yeah, that needs a bit more input, I feel, from workshopping. And let's see. Oh, yeah. These. So far, there's 3 submissions for the challenge of video shorts. It's public to view if you access this specific task. But I'll touch on that, I think, one slide from here, so might as well go there. Yeah, so basically with the deep funding article dropping because of time, that brings the total tasks to 10, so 2 articles for 5 languages. And half of them so far are claimed. And yeah, I think some people currently working on one of these articles can still, when they're finished and nobody else claimed it, will work on the other one. So yeah, not the worst score. Not a perfect score, but well, that's what happened there.
A good start.
There we go. Then one of the tasks which Crypto News, who's here, claimed and delivered, is the squeezing Dr. Matt Eichley's contribution to the pod leader meeting into a bit more digestible format, which I personally thought was done really well. And yeah, I linked it here. Something to do as a group, I think, is checking it out and providing some feedback. Not as in whether it needs to be changed or anything, but to have a proper look at it and to see if this format of throwing out the task out there like it went for this specific case, if that's the way to go about it, and iterate a bit on that to see if what we can do next, if that makes any sense to do it like this, or if people have suggestions. So if anybody right now already watched it or has feedback on how this task was done and the setup of the task itself, please feel free to share. We'll take that to the Discord channel. Then here I linked to the folder for the submissions for the shorts. I did not quite put I did put a deadline, I think, of last Friday. So maybe that's why the submission stopped. Not sure if it's too sensible to have a 4-day deadline on that in hindsight. Yeah, and practically speaking, to me it feels like with 3 submissions to there was a small what to say, little extra, like a bonus for the top 3 best voted to get double the rewards. And I wanted to do a little temperature check on if we could agree that when the total amount of submissions is 3, if then the bonus makes sense. Because I'm inclined to say not really. But also, yeah, it was part of the challenge, so maybe we should stick to that. Any thoughts?
Maybe we stick to that for this, and in the future specify more like the top third or the top 3, whichever is. Or the top 3, or something like that. Specify it as a ratio or a hard number, depending on how many are submitted.
Fair.
Yeah, I think to incentivize that, I guess, if there is more than X participants, the rewards like kind of increase also until to the cap. So if there is a lot of people, there is slightly more people having a chance to get rewarded. I don't know, like this luck stuff. Didn't really. I don't know. It's odd.
Alternative could be to not have this deadline of last week Friday and keep it open for more submissions and try to push it a bit harder to get more submissions.
Oh, absolutely. I think that 3 days was a little short, for sure.
Yeah, for videos it is short. I just was lucky that my friend was available. But and then again, like if you would know what is expected, like yes, it was told that this is the frame and this is here is the video and just cut out. But sometimes if you're not the person who creates like a TikTok like highlight videos, you might not know what to look for. I'm just basically told, okay, this is a great topic, this is a cool project, and gave like a starting points, and then we took the segments. And I think sped up because the NUNET professor is slow talking.
That's cool. Yeah, it might be cool to write a task for somebody to create guidelines for how to create shorts out of a video, so that more people would have a starting spot and a space to be able to contribute and participate. I think for this one, it is what it is. We got 3, and we learned, different maybe specification on double rewards or increased rewards, and learned a little bit more about timelines. And so for the next one, we can broaden out that timeline. What would be more appropriate? I think we've got an event coming up here. There's a Korean news show that we should be able to do a similar task around. So, let Dr. Matt Eclay's segment, be complete, and maybe look at this for our next video segment we'd like shorts out of. What would be a more reasonable timeline for creating shorts?
I would say like about 10 days, so that if somebody works full time, let's say for 7 days, and can't get to it until the weekend, I think like about 7 to 10 days would be a bare minimum for someone like that. Since if we announce them on Tuesdays, then if you give 3 days until Friday, somebody might be at work and not really get to it until the weekend or something. So I would say at least 7 to 10 days. I'm not sure what you think about that.
Yeah, I would have said 7 or 14 days also.
Yeah, I think it's even up to 2 weeks. I think that would be perfectly ideal to have 2 weeks. I just don't know if you want to wait 2 weeks. If you do, then that would be even better, because then there could be also time for discussion, and back and forth on Discord on the process and questions, because I'm sure a lot of people would have questions as well, and so on.
Very fair, yes. And noted.
And just thinking about the Sophia Discord, we had a call for entries for about 7 days, and half of the people that wanted to do the animation just couldn't because of work and things like that. So we kind of decided to give 14 days next time. So then there's ample time to create these longer animations and things like that. So just speaking from experience, I know that even 7 days was not doable for half of the participants in our group.
Yeah, fair. I can see perhaps some tasks requiring tight deadlines, but yeah, something like this, it's to me at least, it's more important that more people get a chance to participate. All right. Yeah, and an issue that surfaced was that the pipeline for publishing this type of content is not properly set up. Right now, these 3 shorts that were submitted are sitting in this folder and happily sitting there. They don't mind, but yeah, the next step of doing something with them is completely not properly set up right now. And well, in a way, Crypto AI News hosted the video on his YouTube, which is perfectly fine. At the same time, I feel maybe we should also put it on SingularityNET YouTube. Yeah, this was not really thought through as well.
Yeah, sure. Feel free to do that.
Awesome. It does make sense, right? To
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Create a space where there's just shorts on the SNET, community submitted shorts. It's awesome. It'd be very cool. And then also, giving folks who have channels an opportunity to post it on their own channel, and that benefits them as well. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, of course, in the description you would put proper
Right.
shout outs.
Attribution. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll basically make a playlist then for community submitted content on YouTube. That works, I think. All right. Then I figured it would be nice to have some additional tasks / challenges which should incorporate these learnings. I figured it could be nice to have an open call for articles, blog posts, for potentially to include in the community update newsletter, or perhaps simply publishing them as a well, a bit like community submitted videos on YouTube, but then on Medium for articles. But this is just something I made up, so if people feel like, oh man, this is a lame idea, do speak up, please.
I like
Nobody
the
did that.
blog posts. Like there
Sorry?
is so many. I like the blog posts. There are so many good topics, and I know if you could put some like educational or onboarding twist on that, I think it could also bring some help to ambassador program. Or if it's an open to share whatever project or reason, then I think might be well 750 AJAX. I guess it's fine for everything, but if you want to like dare a bit of and bring value to this group, and I think like
But for
ambassador
discussion,
related blog posts would be it makes sense.
no, that amount is fully up for discussion. Yeah.
That's an awesome idea. Getting a especially getting a blog post on the community ambassador program from a community ambassador would be cool.
So meta. Yeah, I guess based on on this shorts challenge assignment thingy, perhaps we should provide a little bit of context, like narrow it down a little bit instead of like, it can be anything. Yeah, I'm not sure if the current, for as long as we're, or as short as we're running now with the ambassador program, if that could warrant a actual blog post about the ambassador program itself.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
3 work groups and 3 meetings and tasks and Notions page and getting that out and letting everybody know, see more about that would be great. Maybe it would be cool too to, if anybody's interested, maybe have a task for reviewing the Rejuve longevity. You know, it's in the private beta, but if somebody wanted to do a review blog post on that and show it a little bit, we could get them into the program and let them do that. That would be cool.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so that makes me wonder. Look, I just put there like, well, we could put a 750 AGIX reward for the 3 best voted, but to have 3 people write a blog post about a specific topic as the ambassador program, that to me feels a bit much, perhaps.
Yeah, I think I guess it should also be in Notion for somebody to claim, maybe, or
Yep.
otherwise.
Yeah, that's also something we didn't quite run into yet. But the moment somebody, like, let's say in this call there would be 3 people interested, and I would now put it on Notion, and then it becomes like a little match to claim as quickly as possible. That's also a bit lame.
Yeah, that's true. And then with things like reviews, there could be, varying opinions and experiences. So it's not like do we want just one opinion of one person when somebody else could have a completely different experience, right? Yeah.
Makes sense. Is there anybody in this group interested in getting a bit of a peek behind the scenes on the Rejuve beta? And also with the task included of writing a blog about that. I'll put it up on Notion for claiming. It seems like that should work out just fine. And for those watching this later on, feel free to reach out or check Notion to claim it. I think, yeah, for that one I can see a bit more space, like we can... Okay, so back to the first one, like writing a blog about the ambassador program. Is there anybody here interested in that? And if not, I think I will change that into 1 person being able to claim that task, and then 3 people being able to claim the Rejuve task. Does that make sense? Perfect.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
That sounds great.
Okay. Yeah, and then as another challenge, let's say, I figured it could be cool to have somebody make an infographic on the ecosystem. So a bit of a visual overview of the ecosystem, basically all its parts and spin-offs to be. And for that, I just put it there as an idea. So if the general reaction would be like, meh, lame, then do speak up. Or if you feel like, well, these rewards are just silly, that should be a completely different number, just please feel free.
What about instead of like a static infographic, maybe a video? I don't know. What do you think?
I'm down to do my report, and then we can do video to go through that graphics to explain. But I don't know. I think you would want an infographic, not a video, because it's like a resource you can share and send, which you don't download and watch. Like it's a different medium. And
Sorry.
And I would be happy to do the Miro board if there is somebody who knows all these spin-offs, knows the relations. I'm being more of a very back lurker, so I don't even know much of these projects.
Yeah, interesting point. I think theoretically the information is out there, somewhere. But yeah, there's definitely
research is not easy task because you have to find the relations and the things. Like it's better to come the experienced person and just combine knowledge and knowledge. I don't know if it makes sense.
Group effort, perhaps.
Yeah, it could be a group effort of active users, although, I know some of these platforms are not launched yet. So it would be more like from the theoretical side, I suppose.
Sync not having launched is not a problem, is it?
I don't think it's a problem to create an infographic of all the platforms, even though they weren't launched. Because we still need something like that for sure. And I guess the review blogs would be the ones to cover the experiences of actual users later on.
Yeah, true.
I think an infographic on this would be incredible, and it would be quite a bit of work to put together something that displays this complex information and tracking down all this information. But man, that would be incredible to have that, to be able to share and really describe this complex ecosystem and everything going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I think that's also why I would prefer an infographic over a video, because then, in theory, you could have just one overview, just see it, And in a video, you can cover a lot, but it would remain like, you find yourself just scrolling through the video back and forth, stuff like that. I'm not saying. For this one, keep it to infographic, and I'm not against having videos covering the same topic later on, or at a different point in time. But for this, I feel infographic would be the way.
What is meant by relation? Because you can relate things to a lot of ways, and if we would come up right now with like 3 main relations you want to see, it will be much easier to draw the map. But if you are like taking, this and this project and find relations and then take another project, then it's gonna be just slower, I think, because you might start changing stuff up because some projects don't relate to another, and I don't know. Like what are the things you want to see from that infographic? What are the relations?
Well, relation to the platform would make sense primarily. In the reasoning being that all the spin-offs will utilize the marketplace.
I think that there's some interesting descriptions in the phase 2 proposal about how many of the different spin-offs support the platform. So, Singularity DAO is creating liquidity for small cap AI projects. Sophia DAO is providing, proof of OpenCog Hyperon running on decentralized on the platform and something like in this area. So I think that would be a great spot to look at. How are all these projects were chosen for a reason, and how are they chosen that support decentralized AI and the creation of a society of minds type AGI.
Does that answer a little bit? Or is this maybe it's just a bit of a vague challenge description?
Yeah, I know. It wasn't clear to me because all of the platforms were chosen on this because they are related to AI, and we would need to go to specific, models what they could use. So this review uses, AI has these different models. you build them different logics. So maybe we could find the difference between us, and if there's some people are coming to AGI first because it's about AI, they might be looking what models they are using or who trained them or I don't know if there is even training happening.
Perhaps the part how they all relate makes it a bit more complicated than it needs to be. What I was kind of aiming at was basically having an overview, and then of course you can mention what kind of verticals are covered, like whether it's DeFi or metaverses or music or media.
Depending from which perspective you look at it and how technical you want to get, because this infographic could also very well be looked at from the human experience and okay, me as a user, what can Gem Galaxy do for me, and how does that relate to Rejuve, and what can I do in the AI library of the Mindplex platform? It could be just focused on lifestyle, human experience, what do these platforms can help me with throughout my day, or it doesn't even have to be that deeply technical.
Oh, that would be interesting. Look at the lens of human health. Does it gives you a mind freedom, or does train? Yeah, both are mind. One gives you relaxation, one gives you education, or trains you. Then physical, I guess, training that you look at what you eat, and that's also metabolic now. So yeah, health perspective relations would be interesting. But I don't know how many of these projects are related to health, through AGI or Jam Galaxy.
Yeah, or it wouldn't have to be, specifically about health, but, your entire lifestyle, it's you need entertainment, you need to track your health, you need to educate yourself, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to think about your finances. And so all of these platforms kind of help in that regard, everything is pretty much covered. So maybe looking at that infographic from, what can these platforms do for me in my overall lifestyle, and, how can they fit into my lifestyle as a human being, trying to explore AI.
Also, in this case, I would say it's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to take a specific approach on an infographic showcasing the ecosystem, go for it. I don't think. Yeah, I'm not sure if that needs to be thoroughly defined. I mean, you will see in the voting on Discord which one finds the biggest audience, the most appreciation.
Yeah.
So, yay or nay on this challenge? Do it or think more about it and have it defined more. Nice.
I think more about it would be kind of good.
Yeah, fair.
I don't think it should be. I think we should go forward with it. I think definitely having like one solid graphic, showcasing all the platforms and that whole ecosystem, that would be really great to have to share with anyone for like a very quick visual overview. So I think this should stay, but maybe we could think about it more how it could be done. Yeah.
I think maybe we should just start doing like the base first and collect about 1-2 articles about each project, what we could link to. Like I'm still thinking in terms of using Myrobot. So we have a logo of the project, some links which could lead to the platform. So I could skim, or people could like go through like the high level of what is this project about, and maybe then one article, a bit of like deeper insight into a specific feature or a video, or like just because one might not be enough, like the high level, but you want a bit of details too. And once you have all of the map of these main resources, that you have a high level view of all of that, then based already from gathering that information, you probably will find some cool or like selling points which you want to mention and since it's not about relations, it's about just showcasing it. Then you will find some cool selling points that you could also bring forward to the Miro board, and if somebody has something similar, you could crop them, I guess. Yeah. And if it doesn't work, then at least we have a base to now think again. Okay, now we have all of that. What is the relation we give them?
Fair. That almost makes me wonder if a challenge is the right setting for this. Perhaps it could just be those interested in making a super high quality infographic and just slowly take the time and not competing with others, but just cooperating. Maybe that's an alternative, potentially better approach.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
I think that's a great idea. I think that's perfect.
And then once it's done, there can be a video made about it. And then we can have everything tied together. Seriously, like the end result is what matters, not so much having a little competition. So yeah, maybe that's, yeah.
And I think if more people do that infographic, or at least try it, we could see then what kind of perspective everybody has of this ecosystem. We could come up, we could end up with completely different kind of areas of focus in those infographics. It would be interesting to see. So I think opening up to everyone, whoever wants to take a crack at it, would be a great idea.
Yeah, cool. The only impractical side of that is the rewards, I guess. I mean, with a challenge, it's easy, right? You get votes on Discord. Most votes get the highest reward. But if it becomes a group effort and there's different levels of contribution, that becomes a bit messy, or can become messy if people.
Nah, I wouldn't worry about that. If it's not a group of, I don't know. I very rarely see that as an issue, especially when you have like few people. They come in terms, and even if it gets more people, as soon as somebody is like a data manager, tasker, or basically keep auditor, then it's solved.
So maybe. Okay, so instead of a challenge with the mentioned rewards, I think. Well, for sure we can park these rewards and distribute among those who participated. That's no problem, I don't think. But then it would not so much be a challenge, but I'll simply start a Discord channel and those interested can share data information and start working on it like that?
It would be still nice to have a task, to have the so-called like champion or a steward who you turn to when you want to know where any of the task information are, or to just ask, hey, what state this infographic is. But if you think it's like an ongoing thing that in like then yeah, I'd rather still would use tasks for now to make it simpler and not make another method that there are these ongoing things and working groups. And yeah, basically expect to deliver something, show it to the people, then think how to improve it, and then either just to finish it up, like tidy it up, or ideate on another set of requirements and budget.
All right. Looking slightly at the clock and thinking how to best put a conclusion to this for now.
He's not your enemy.
Sorry?
Clock is not your enemy. Don't think about it.
Oh, true.
Relativity is the enemy.
Depends on what, right? Sometimes time is the best friend or the clock, and sometimes the biggest enemy. Like I said, right? Time is relative. Also in the emotional regard.
Tick is happy, Doc is unhappy.
Nice one.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm not sure how to whether to frame it as a group challenge or to have this competitive element in it or not. Like with voting on results or working together towards one.
My suggestion would be like if starting off it's like individuals, and like if each one has a good idea, you can group them together to make the final product.
Or we can establish who the graphic designer is going to be and just have a discussion on what needs to be included in that graphic. I mean, that could be... somebody has to do the graphic, and that's the most work, I would say. So, I mean, I'm not a graphic designer so I don't know.
You all jump into graphics, and I just thought we're gonna first aggregate all the information in one place and have
that's
discussion.
kind of like my idea. It's like have a discussion on what needs to be included, and then, but eventually somebody has to design it. So I suppose that person gets the most perk because they have to like do the whole visual element, the design work.
I guess we can do it both ways. Like, if people individually want to work on it, go for it. If you want to cooperate with others, use the Discord channel. I can make a dedicated channel for it, if preferred. But then again, the traffic in the current channel is not that crazy, so I think it's perfectly fine to have that just in the normal chat. I did put a bit longer deadline for this, Friday, June 3rd. I think it makes sense to at least put some date. So this would be about 10 days. 12, I think, 13 even, almost 2 weeks. So that should be doable. But then again, if there's like a big cooperative effort going on and it's about to go next level, then of course, yeah, there will be space for that. All right, enough on that. And that was actually pretty much the last topic. Except for providing some space for yeah, an open round. Any questions, ideas, or thoughts anybody might have? And a little link to the feedback form for this meeting, if you're inclined to share your feedback on that. But there's silence. Great.
Maybe
I was just going to mention the what we talked about in the Discord channel about creating that visual library of visuals for ambassadors to use in their blog posts and
Yes.
podcasts and things like that. So my idea was I'm very active in the Sophia Discord, and we have daily discussions on Sophia there, of course, transhumanism, post-human philosophy, consciousness, human life with AI, things like that. And we're kind of conceptualizing this collaborative art project to create visual representations of our discussions. So I thought, it would be great to create that visual library of these outcomes and have our ambassadors use these visuals for blog posts instead of going for like stock photography. That way we can also promote our members from the ecosystem. I'm not sure where the library could be yet. I don't know if Notion is good for that, if it has like a folder option for high resolution images. I don't know, I haven't explored, but that was my idea, to create something like that.
Yeah, it would be awesome. It sounds like a bit of a Creative Commons kind of setup where I would assume you would be required to link to the creator, and then you would be free to use the assets. Would that be correct?
Yes, exactly. I mean, you could just either link to the creator. If they don't have online presence, it could just be a credit with their name and the title of the work. I mean, that could be worked out. I could create naming convention for the artworks in the folder, so we kind of make it easy to use it. And of course, permission would be granted for the pieces that will be in the library. That will be synonymous with permission being granted from the artists. So, just a thought.
Yeah, it would be very cool, and I think, yeah, I guess that's something which also could be discussed. But I think from SingularityNET side, it could also be potentially be used in yeah, with credits where credits are due, of course. Unless it would be preferred to only be used by the ambassadors, but yeah, I guess that's something you could perhaps, or that discussion should, I guess, take place on the Sophia Discord.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely discuss that over there. So far, everybody's excited about that, and I don't see how anybody would be like, "Oh no, I don't want Singularity at large to use it. I only want ambassadors to use it." I think it would be, they would be more, I think they would be more than happy to have anybody use it to, yeah, not just the ambassadors.
Would be awesome. On what you were mentioning for Notion, it can link to Google Drive. I think that's the closest it gets to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not an expert by any means, but I think that would be the simplest, at least.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could do that for sure.
Or if some alternative, perhaps more decentralized option is preferred.
Right. Oh yes, I guess we can figure it out.
Yeah, but that's really awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing that.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Anybody else wants to contribute something for today?
Do we have a good place to grab like brand assets, kind of like SingularityNET and all their projects, like logos and stuff like that, if we were to make any visuals or infographics?
I put MediaKit.zip here, which I think should cover. Maybe it's just SingularityNET, and I need to. Yeah, this is only SingularityNET. It does have proper. Yeah, just proper files for all the SingularityNET logos, but this exists for multiple projects. I will make a note out of that to basically create a big.
I can put together the whole, all of the required files for it.
I'm assuming all of that is public. I guess a double check there would not hurt, but
I mean, all of our logos are public anyways. It's, you can grab it off of any of our websites also.
yeah, of course. No, but yeah, having this media kit being proper.
Yeah,
pack of
high
files
quality.
enough,
Yeah.
that would be
That's
cool.
what I said. I can put together one that has each one of them, like not 10 variations of each one, but just high quality of each.
Nice, that'd be awesome.
Taking back to infographic. Anybody here who has like I don't know, bookmark list or some way he has aggregated already some articles about any of the projects where you think, oh, this is the go-to article I send to anybody who I want to onboard, or knows how to find it?
I think
Because-
that phase 2 document is just like jam-packed with information on all the projects. I'll see if I can find it and I'll link it.
Yeah, it is. And if you combine it with the somewhat more recent ecosystem update blog posts, I do think
true.
combining that will make it also. I mean, the phase 2 document is what, a year old? Year plus? And also, it doesn't mention some of the newer spin-offs. For example, Jam Galaxy, I don't think gets mentioned in the phase 2 document.
Yeah, I guess that pods meeting that you guys recently put out would probably be the most up to date.
Yeah. Yeah, that should cover 90+%. Yeah, I'll make sure to link those in the channel. All right, final check. Anybody who wants to contribute something? Now would be the time. And if not, next meeting will be a week from now. Coming Friday, there's the second meeting on the community podcast for those interested. It will be at 16 UTC. Also on Discord here. And hopefully with proper audio. I think, Rainer, you were mentioning that the last Friday's one is finished uploading now?
Last Friday's was a long time ago finished uploading. Yesterday already. But it was, yeah. It's all ready to go. Just, put your description and title there.
I'll do that right now.
And yesterday's one is gonna be in an hour also, probably.
Cool. All right, I think that's it for today. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining. And if you feel inclined to do so, please fill in the feedback form, which is in the slides. I'll also paste it on Discord.